starting to go a little crazy right now with all the words that you're learning, please get out those index cards, okay? Put down those words, put down definitions, alphabetize them, keep flipping through them. Otherwise, you're flipping back and forth and trying to find those bold words, and you're going to start to go cross-eyed. All right, we're in Chapter 3. Chapter 3, on page 35, we have the 10 patterns. You guys, I want you to look at them, okay? As we're going through these 10 patterns, you can see that there's different titles that are given to them. You need to know those words. If you haven't learned or discovered what the meanings are to those words, find them out, put them on index cards so that you can understand them. Now, within this chapter, you're going to get comfortable with those 10 patterns. There are going to be some exceptions. Learn the exceptions, see why they're exceptions. But for the most part, we're going to stay with those 10 patterns because they're what we're comfortable with. Your assignments, I'm not going to worry about diagramming for this chapter. I just want you to get the sentence patterns, but start to use the patterns and the diagramming that's provided in the chapter to understand how these different words are organized, because it will help you to be able to organize your own writing, okay? So my encouragement to you is, as you're flipping through, take a look at the diagramming, see why it is done the way it is, what slots are available, what drops down, what is runs parallel, what are the main parts of the structure, and allow that to develop. Now there's a couple of terms that I want you to know. I want you to know you have the subject and you have the predicate. Okay, the subject will be the noun and the predicate is the verb, the action that follows. You can have a real simple sentence like, oh, let's look at number 6, the students. There's that subject. Rested, there's that verb phrase. Remember, just one word. Sometimes the verb phrase can just be one word. And you can see it developed. Now, you might be having trouble figuring out on page 35 the ways in which they've abbreviated. The NP, of course, is that noun phrase. If there's a 1 below it, look at number 3. The subject, the students, are, and then scholars, they're the same thing. They're the same noun. They've just given different words to it. So it's noun phrase 1 and then noun phrase 1 again. Now drop down to the bottom of the page. You'll see the students again on example number 7. The students is noun phrase 1, that subject. Then you have that transitive verb. By the way, intransitive doesn't have a complement. You can see that in number 6. It's just rested. There's nothing that comes after it. But transitive verbs have the complement. So you have that transitive verb, studied, and then you have another noun. They're assignments. You guys, students and assignments are not the same nouns. That's the reason why you have NP1 and then NP2. And you can even have a third noun when you have the next example below. Their homework is NP3. So you've got these 3 different nouns that are inside the sentence. Get to learn those patterns, do it in your homework, and identify those. By the way, please look inside of the instructions that I give that are written, right? Okay, I give you a lot more detail that's written, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to understand what I'm expecting of those assignments, because I want you to get comfortable with those. You will be using those patterns for the rest of our semester together. We'll keep referencing them from time to time, so you need to get very comfortable with them. Guys, chapter 4 is all about verbs, and I want you to get to know how to expand them and how to identify the different forms. It reminds you that we looked at forms earlier this week, okay, in chapter 2, and the fact that you can have different types of forms. You can have regular and irregular verbs. I want you to go through the different assignments. I want you to see how you can apply them and get comfortable with them. I would say verb tenses is a big challenge at ECSU. When I'm teaching in class and I hear students speaking, verb tenses are not used correctly. This is a chapter that will give you an opportunity to be able to learn those. So, the bold words, know the definitions. The assignments, go over and practice them. Be ready for the quiz and enjoy the rest of this week.